So we get a lot of questions and comments.
This is true.
And today, we're going to answer some of those questions and address some of those comments that people have posted.
Yeah, some are just questions. Some are just comments that we thought were entertaining. What is the first question we have?
First question
or comment?
Was actually interesting because I did a little deep dive. I love getting questions that make me do some research. So this is from Robert Lear. He said, I grew up in the Missouri area, but now I live in Santa Clarita, California, just north of Los Angeles. I think San Diego would be the best place in the US to live. He's not wrong there.
Truth.
I am an avid fisherman, and the fishing in San Diego and offshore is the best. So I looked that up, and San Diego does indeed have some of the best freshwater fishing in all of California. I think.
I've actually never gone fishing here in San Diego, but I do know a lot of our friends have gone fishing.
Let me tell you a little something.
Please do.
You do have to have a fishing license if you are over 16 and you are fishing in the Pacific Ocean or in any San Diego lake.
Okay.
You know where you don't need a license?
On a pier.
Ah, you're right.
I read this
A
before.
public pier.
Yes,
a public
right.
pier,
Okay.
you can fish without a license, and they have all kinds of stuff. Bass, halibut, tuna, cod, bluefin, marlin, yellowtail. It's really impressive.
So if you're a big fisherman, San Diego's got a ton of options here.
Yes. Here's a comment from Alex Fernandez.
This is from our pros and cons video.
Cons video. He says that San Diego is a tourist trap.
Okay.
And it has potential to be a great city. And it could be a world trade mecca. And yet we're always just a little tourist trap 100 miles south of LA.
I mean, there are obviously a lot of tourists here, mainly because it's a great place to visit and a great place to live.
Yes.
So I don't 100% agree with that, but obviously we do have a lot of tourists.
We do. But I don't necessarily think that that's a con.
No, I don't think it's a con. I mean, I think everyone should be able to enjoy San Diego.
It's a beautiful place to visit.
I always, when people say, oh, I don't want any more people coming to visit here, I just feel like everybody should be able to enjoy it. It's like going to Hawaii.
That's not fair.
Everyone should be able to enjoy it. Because I love Hawaii.
Edward Mullen said that when we were talking about pests.
Sure.
Pests here in San Diego, that we missed scorpions. We missed mentioning scorpions, and depending on your area, you can get mosquitoes, he said. And on those rare, exceedingly hot evenings, you can even get a migration of flying ants. So I think this is in reference to when we're always like, there's no bugs.
Yeah.
There's no bugs. It's so great. There's no bugs.
There are mosquitoes, but just compared to the East Coast or the South or wherever it's when it's super humid all the time,
yes,
we have like a tenth of them.
Right, and it is in direct correlation to how much water and moisture there is, because they need water to lay their eggs. So if you have a particularly dry year here, your number of mosquitoes is
way less, for sure.
Way less.
And as far as scorpions go, I have never seen a scorpion, but you saw one recently, right?
Just the first time. I lived here for 8 years. The first time we caught one, it was little, but it was creepy, in our backyard like a week ago. My husband caught it.
Yes, that's correct.
So
one other thing we have that I don't think we really talked about, the termites. Basically, termites are very plentiful here in San Diego.
Yeah. Do you know why that is?
I think it's the weather. I think the dry weather.
Because it's dry.
Because they're drywood termites, I think they call them. So,
it's just a delicious
So every house we usually do a termite inspection. Sure. So if you don't do one, I highly recommend doing termite inspections.
Yeah.
And I would say almost, 80% of houses have some sort of termite damage or termite evidence of actually having termites.
Right.
So definitely do termite inspections.
Mm-hmm. This next question, I feel like a lot of people ask, and I was always like, yes, I'll get that. I'll get that info, and I didn't. And then I actually went and got it.
She just ignores your questions most of the time.
I just ignore them. Which are the free museums in Balboa Park and when? Because we always talk about getting to go to the free museums in Balboa Park. So listen up, because it doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason, but here it is. On the first Tuesday of every month, the Science Center, Fleet Science Center, and the Natural History Museum are free.
Those are two of my favorite ones. So that's the same
those
day?
are great, and they're right across from each other.
Okay.
I mean, you don't even have to walk far into Balboa Park to hit those. On the third Tuesday, the San Diego Museum of Art and the Japanese Friendship Garden are free. On the second Monday, the Air and Space Museum is free, which is also great. Have you been there?
I haven't been to that one.
I just went for the first time this past year. It's awesome. The kids loved it.
Yeah.
They have all this really cool old airline memorabilia from like Pan Am in the 60s and 70s and flight attendant outfits, and it's
I worked
really
on that
cool.
show. I worked on Pana. When it was on
You told me.
for that one lone season.
If anyone remembers that show.
No, it
Probably don't. And okay, the last one is the fourth Tuesday of every month, the San Diego Automotive Museum is free, which is kind of small, but also very interesting. They have a lot of cool cars in there, like, you know, a couple Rolls Royces.
We should do a video on the actual museum if they let us bring cameras in there.
I would love that. And that's for San Diego residents, and all active military get free as well, cool. Regardless of where you're from.
There's tons of military discounts here in San Diego since we're a fairly large military town.
Yep, too, you bet. Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, which one?
Right here.
North County is boring. I love North Park, South Bay with local San Diego people. Too many East Coast people coming in now with an attitude. Well, we are too.
Talking about us?
I think they're probably
talking about us. That was Larry Smith.
North County is boring. I would not, to each their own. Yeah. But I love North County. Right. It's probably not as busy as
it's a little more suburban,
city, which is
suburban.
Kind of in our life stages right now. It's kind of what we look for.
Right.
But boring would not be the term that I would use.
No, definitely not.
Yes.
I mean, there's tons to do here.
But I would say the city, the metro areas definitely have a little bit more life to them. So maybe that's probably what we're referring to. Larry.
Restaurants, bars, stuff's open maybe a little bit later.
I'm in bed by like 11
it's
o'clock.
It's walkable. So. I know. You
I'm an old man,
aren't you? Yeah.
Okay, next question. Hey guys, how do you think this place is building for a house? I have my eye on a great lot in Carmel Valley, but I was wondering if you know that there are any rules of construction. I mean, in the style of the house, because all the houses there are beautiful, but have more semi-classic style. So
they would like to build something modern.
So it's not impossible to do that, but especially in Carmel Valley, a lot of these ones have HOAs. So as long as the HOA allows it, then you should be able to build whatever you want. But they usually like to have a consistent look to some of these planned communities here. Right. So especially in Carmel Valley, I think if you were in the beach communities, you probably have a little bit easier chance of doing that.
And what do you think? What do you think most of the homes around here look like? Or what's the style?
I mean, Spanish style is pretty popular here. Yeah. Just like, contemporary type styles. They're not super modern. Although those ones in Pacific Highland Ranch have kind of mixed it up. Which are not your
What's that
favorites.
One called? What's that one called? We just did that in the last video.
What's the name of the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Sendero.
Sendero.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She thought they looked like
Don't tell people that.
They look beautiful.
They're beautiful. They have beautiful lots and nice backyards and stuff. Here was a comment that I really enjoyed because you know how I feel about La Mesa. This is from Monica. She says, La Mesa is definitely an awesome place to live. It's a smaller suburb, so you won't hear about it a lot, but it's got some great plus sides. I'm glad you mentioned the amount of locally owned stores. I've never lived anywhere with so many thriving mom and pop stores. Of course, we all have our preferences on the type of place to live, but I feel lucky every day to call La Mesa home.
Very cool. It's a nice comment.
I'm going to tell you, I mean, every time I go there, it grows on me a little bit more and I see something else and I see some homes that I'm like, oh, it's so cute.
Are you moving down there?
I don't know. I just, I love Del Cerro down there. I just love, the homes have so much character.
They do. That's a place you could actually go down there and build a house. Probably whatever you want.
I would think so too.
That's the one negative of maybe living up here in these planned communities. You probably have limited scope of what you can do if you want to build a new house.
But suburban San Diego, a little bit of a lower price point than some of the North County neighborhoods, so that's good to keep in mind, but also has a really thriving main street and downtown. It's not super downtowny, but it's enough. I mean, it's more than what we have, up here in Torrey Highlands. So.
Here's a nice comment we got from Tall Guy. Mm-hmm. He said, I've been here for 20 years and never been broke. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
That's really great.
If Tall Guy can do it, anybody
can
do it.
There you go. I was going to say, that's a little bit of encouragement for the people who are worried about,
can they afford to live here? Because that's probably one of the biggest questions we get.
Just listen to Tall Guy.
It's not the most affordable city in the world, but if Tall Guy can do it, anybody can. So
never been broke.
Never been broke.
Good for him. Okay, comment that I got that was just for me personally, which I love when there's just comments.
I know. I feel like you get more questions than I get sometimes.
No. So this was a question about my sunglasses that I wear, which we wear sunglasses all the time in the outdoor shoots.
Very sunny.
Right.
Yes. And
I wanted to drop the name because I love them and they're affordable and they're super cute and come in so many different styles. It's Key. Quay, which looks like it would be Quay, but it's Key. Apparently, it's an Australian brand of sunglasses, and
are we doing sponsorships that I'm not?
I don't know, but no,
like,
they asked. They asked specifically. So I just wanted to just shout that out.
She's doing sponsorship without my consent. This is
you didn't know. I'm getting
know.
like an entire box of free sunglasses after this. So yeah.
Bern. Oh, they're asking me a question. Bern.
This was for you.
This is nice. I have a question. Your guideline of single person ideally having to make $50K per year, live on a basic level in San Diego. Is that $50K before or after taxes? I want to reload at the end of this year. So I would say $50K after taxes probably would be best. I mean, is it possible to do it before taxes? Sure. But I think to live semi-comfortably as a single person, trying to keep your rents low, $50K after taxes would probably be the number to try to target. You say you're a family of 4,
right?
With schools and food and all that sort of stuff. I think you probably would still live semi-comfortably combined. I would say 125 probably would be like
you could do it. Number. You could do it, yeah.
But I mean, obviously, that would probably be my base, and after that, it would be more challenging.
Right.
Also depends on where you live in San Diego.
Exactly.
Because your cost of living, as far as housing, is probably going to be your most expensive expense.
Yeah.
So expensive expense.
Expensive expense. And he was asking specifically about a single person.
Sure.
Yeah. I thought this was this next comment was a good comment because we also talk about one of the cons in San Diego here is that there are not 4 distinct seasons like there are, living elsewhere. And Justice Gusting needs something really pretty. He wrote, all you seasons people, there are seasons in San Diego. You just have to be attuned to them. My favorite day of the year is that first unofficial day of autumn where the temperature is crisp, the angle of the sun portends waning days, and there's a delicious, indescribable scent in the air, marking the beginning of the slowdown towards winter solstice. Are you a poet, Justice Gusting?
So we have seasons, but they last about a day, is that what he's trying to say?
No, I think he's just saying you just have to be in tune to the small changes. It's not going to be...
They're not as dramatic as they are.
They're not as dramatic, but you do see...
Sure, yeah.
This person is correct. You do get some seasons. I mean... Everything blooms year-round, yes, but there's more flowers, there's more stuff in bloom. The trees are in full bloom in the summer months.
We just don't get the extremes.
We just don't get the extremes, and obviously we don't get snow, we don't get, freezing temperatures, but you feel it in the winter.
Yeah, I feel
we
the
get more rain in the winter. It is a little chillier.
You get a little more clouds.
Yeah, you get a little more cloud coverage.
Not as dramatic, but there's differences.
But so this person is correct. So I will amend my statement that there is no seasonal change in San Diego. There are some changes.
Sometimes we just do it for dramatic effect.
I know.
So.
And I mean, it is a shock when you come from someplace that has 4 very distinct seasons. You come here and you might not notice unless you slow down a little bit.
Yeah,
and pay attention.
And look around once in a while.
Look around. Yeah.
That's right.
How about this one, Bern?
What do you think about Rancho Santa Fe? I think Rancho Santa Fe is expensive.
It's really expensive.
It's pretty expensive. I think it's a beautiful neighborhood. It probably has some of the biggest lots in all of San Diego.
Yeah.
They're like basically estates up there, a lot of them too. So I think they got a great little downtown village area there too. Yeah. Some good hotels in there if you ever want to do staycations there. Very centrally located. You can still be to Solana beaches or Del Mar beaches, probably in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless you're like super deep Rancho Santa Fe, because the roads are super windy back there.
Yeah.
It might take you a few minutes to get to like grocery stores and that sort of thing. So if that matters, but if you live on a 10,000 square foot house, you probably just getting your groceries delivered to you. So
and a lot of it's very green. So whoever's keeping that grass growing with that water bill, I don't know.
Yeah, the water bills are probably through the roof there. But
yeah.
We've not really done an actual video on Rancho Santa Fe yet, so we're going to put that on the list. So.
Yes. Okay. From Nishant commented that move to San Diego if you're below 40. It's not good for the old folks.
Which I definitely disagree with this.
I disagree as well.
I think maybe if you're living downtown, maybe it's not the best spot for, the older generation. But I mean, I feel like especially North County or La Jolla or most of those people are probably, not most, but I mean, there's plenty of like 45 plus. I mean, I'm 40.
And I think, yes, you are. I feel like in the last 5 years, I've seen more 55 and up communities being built. And even here in the suburbs where I feel like it is a lot of single family homes, I'm seeing a lot of those communities being planned and built So they're obviously catering to an older population.
Unless he's just referring to San Diego City, so maybe I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
But San Diego County, there's, plenty of room for all ages here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Next question. So even if one would pay up for an existing home, are they still paying cheap taxes until the property is reassessed? This is from Eat Chilies, who's commented a few times. I think we've done some answering questions for them before. So basically you buy a home, say the home was purchased 5 years ago at $800,000. Now you come in and buy it's on the market again, you come and buy it, it's at $1 million. You will now be paying property taxes off of $1 million. So you will not get to keep the property tax rate of the previous buyer. But once you buy it, it can only go up 2% per year here in San Diego. So yes, it will get reassessed once you buy it, which is usually the purchase price. So unfortunately, you will not get to keep that low interest rate.
Why would people think that you could keep?
I don't know.
Why would they think you could keep?
I don't know.
Because then I would just feel it.
It's confusing if you're looking on websites like Redfin and Zillow. It shows what the property tax is, and it's based off of the current buyer.
Got it.
So they're like, oh, do I get to keep that? So I can see why it could be confusing.
Okay.
So, but unfortunately, you do not get to keep it. Although if you are, I think it's 55 plus, or no, maybe it's after 65. I forget what it is. But if you're 65 plus and you sell your home that was, you bought it for $600,000 and now you're buying $1 million house, they do let you keep your property tax rate one time if you're over, I think it's over the age of 65.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 65.
Yeah.
So that's the one time they will let you keep the previous assessment of your current home.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So
yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all our questions we had for today. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. And if you guys have other questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. And we'll do another one of these, every other month or something like that.
We do read them. We
do read all the comments. I try to respond to everybody on there. Courtney does too sometimes.
When it's about my sunglasses.
When it's mostly about her, because this is all about her. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. And if this is your first time to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every week about living in San Diego. And if this is, what am I asking?
That's it.
Oh, click like below. And if you ever plan on moving to San Diego, we'd love to help you find your next home. Thanks for watching and catch us next week. Bye.
Jinx.
Jinx.